Welcome to another episode of the Fortis After Hours podcast. I'm your co-host Nate, joined by my wife Liz.
Hey.
And we have another awesome episode planned for you guys today.
Crazy.
Who knew? And also, this is actually the start of a little series we're going to be doing as we prep and finish up our peak for nationals. That's coming up the weekend of May 16th and 17th. And we
5
figured,
weeks out.
Yep, 5 weeks out. And we figured we're going to do a little bit of a series, 4-part series here. Kind of just a collection of things to help you succeed on meet day and kind of finish out this prep strong. Because at this point, the strength is there, but now we have to figure out how to pull it out of you and make sure you're ready to perform on meet day.
Obviously, we're talking about for nationals, but this can apply to any powerlifting.
It's just a convenient timing
that you do. And honestly, some of this stuff, even if you don't compete, if you're trying to get, now some of them will be basically only if you're competing, but there's some of the other stuff too that especially I would say today, talking about goals and things like that.
Yeah. It can be beneficial.
That can be, yes, very applicable to
just everyday gym.
Really any kind of people working out, no matter what your goals or strength or whatever is. But,
agreed. Yeah, it's going to be our meet prep series, but like Liz said, it's got a lot of applicable information. So if you are someone that isn't a powerlifter, don't click off this just yet. Stick around. There might be some stuff that you guys find helpful as well. So first, I want to give you guys kind of a roadmap for the next 5 weeks. Number one, we're going to be off on April 25th. So,
well, yeah, but it's the 27th, so there will not be a podcast that week.
So there won't be a podcast that week, but now that that's out of the way, I'm going to map it out for you guys so you guys know what's coming. So this week we're going to be talking about your goals and execution. Both those things need to be aligned, and we're also going to kind of discuss our mindset going into the last block or the peaking block of prep, because it is different than the rest of prep. And then next week, April 18th, is going to be what do you do if you have a bad day, especially during this time.
Because bad days happen.
It happens. It's happened to me before during this time. It's happened to Liz.
Frequently.
Many times before, but we've decreased that time.
Yes.
But yes, now that I just was saying that, I was actually, we have a lot of experience with this.
Let me tell you all about it, guys.
Anyways, then May 2nd, again, we'll be skipping the week of the 27th, but May 2nd will be travel tips, specifically, if you're traveling, obviously. And I think that one is important. If you're not traveling, you can maybe skip on past that one. Of course, we appreciate the listen if you are interested, but that will be very specific to traveling for powerlifting meets, which is a topic that there's not a ton of information out on. Liz and I have been traveling, big time traveling for meets for the past 5 years at least, I think, maybe more, but for sure 5 years. Our first big one was the Showdown meet, I think in 2021.
Yeah.
So 5 years. And as far as execution, we've always been able to execute to the standards that we're looking for on that day. So we're going to share some of our travel tips, how you can prepare for travel, and that's really going to be helpful, I think, for a lot of people.
It's things that are often overlooked.
Yeah, honestly, that might be a requirement if you're going with us to nationals. You need to listen to that. Yes, you need to listen to that because we're competing as well. So we're going to need you guys to be on point with your traveling. All right, and then the last one is going to be, of course, meet day tips, managing expectations for the actual day once it's here, making sure you have fun, and what to do if you do miss a lift for whatever reason.
And other things too, probably.
Yeah, hint, it's not the end of the world, even though you may feel like it in the moment. Yes. So anyways, today, like I said, we're going to be talking about goals and execution, making sure those puppies are aligned, and then kind of the mindset that you need, which also kind of depends on your goals.
It does.
So how do you recommend people create goals? So they've made it through their training, and that might be different for people and then what they consider prep. But point being, you've made it to the last block.
Yeah.
We're 4, 5, 6 weeks out, something like this. Well, how do we create goals?
Because I feel like for most people, I don't know, I could be wrong, but I feel like most of the people I talk to that I train, also us, I know, we kind of make goals usually like months in advance. Like kind of when you first sign up for your meet, you're like, hey, I have these cool goals that I want to do at nationals. And like, maybe they're really easy, maybe they're really hard. Yeah. Like, who knows? You're like 6, 7, 8 months out maybe. I mean, maybe a little less, but whatever.
Good. Like, it's good to keep your mind.
Yes, and it gives you something to work towards, it gives you something to push through, but then just kind of depending on training, like I always think it's good to kind of reevaluate your goals, like almost like right before you start that last block, so you can really, really be like focused in on what those goals are for nationals. For some people, maybe if you're, however, 6, 7, 8 months has gone like amazing, like, and maybe those goals are just still perfectly aligned with where you're at, then cool. Like just kind of like reaffirm those goals basically.
Yeah.
But I feel like for most people in most situations, most training, whatever, you will probably have to slightly alter them, either up or down, depending on what kind of goals you set to begin with. Just because life has happened, training has happened, maybe you got way stronger than you thought, maybe you weren't able to get quite as strong as you thought you were going to. And like there's nothing wrong with either one of those and like having to alter and adjust your goals or things like that.
Yeah.
So I think that that's just something that is an important thing to do, like kind of right before your last block, kind of sit down and like actually really look at where is your training right now, what have you been doing, what makes sense.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, obviously you could also have a conversation with your coach about it too, depending on like, you know,
100%.
how that's going. I know some coaches, it's funny, I've discovered that some coaches are much more like willing to talk about things like this than others. Some coaches are just like, no, I'm just gonna do it, and then you're just gonna do what the plan is, and then
that's wild.
Which is not how we coach. But so I'm just saying, depending on who you're coaching.
Those coaches.
Yeah. So
that's crazy.
Yeah. So I'm a big believer in kind of like talking and like coming up with like a plan and like what people are comfortable with. Now, will I make it like what I think is a good plan? Yes, coach, but I always have a conversation. We always talk about like openers, things like that. Now, obviously you still have a block of training. So like nothing is set in stone at the beginning of this block.
Yeah, but you can, like in my mind, you can really like, if you're looking at it like, 6, 7 months out or something like that, this range of goals is like, it's not very like super accurate, right? Like it's like, okay, I mean, you could do anything.
You're like, yeah, it'd be cool if I could do this,
I mean, like a year out, it's like, whatever. And I think that's important to note that, like off the rip, like Liz said, because like things will change. Like it's not like a if, it's just a will. And you're either going to get closer and like more honed in to what you thought you were going to do, or you might be in a different lane entirely based off life, training, whatever, stuff happens.
Mine are different than I thought.
Yeah, exactly. And actually, so are mine, once we share those, which we'll do shortly. Because you just don't know. So I think it is very important to just look at that for what it is. It's just a wide kind of swath of numbers that you probably maybe have an idea of hitting. Then around now, like Liz saying, I think it's a very smart idea to like reevaluate with your coach, talk with them. Definitely you should be communicating with your coach and kind of going through, okay, this is what actually happened over the past 6 months. Because powerlifting, there is a lot of like emotion and confidence and a lot of other aspects than just data. But at the end, it is a very like data-driven sport. Even though, there's a lot of different like things that happen, but it's a very data-driven sport. And if the data is just not there, like it can't be. Like, sometimes we'll have people, it's like, oh, let's say they want to squat 100 pounds. I'll just use that for an example. But they're like, yeah, like that's going to be my goal. I got this. But then they're doing triples with 30 pounds. It's like, well, that's not like...
Doesn't quite add up.
And you can extrapolate that. But so right now, I think it's a perfect time to reevaluate the goals, like Liz said, and to come up with, I like this earlier, you said this before we were live on the podcast, is like layers of goals.
Oh yeah,
I think that's actually really smart for a lot of people to do.
I have lots of layers. Well, really usually, it's about 3 layers mine is usually kind of like... I've discovered that just kind of helps me going into a meet.
Which is interesting, because for me, I have 2.
Yeah.
So we can talk
I
about
would
the
say,
differences.
I think it's like 2 to 3. I don't know. Depends on the day. But basically, I go in, or what I've done, at least for this meet. Now, this is not something that I've always done in the past. I think last year was the first time that I actually kind of did this when we did Surge, was I like laid out like kind of like layers of what I was hoping to do. And I really think that helped me to like enjoy the meet a little bit more.
Yeah.
And also like feel more successful, because while of course as anyone in powerlifting probably
everyone wants to hit the most,
has crazy goals.
Yeah.
Like you have these things to be like, wow, if I had like the most perfect day and everything, the stars aligned, like, and I, was super strong on every lift and I got everything good, like what could I do? And I don't think there's anything wrong with like having that as your goal.
No.
Or like having that as a layer of
Yeah,
the goal.
100%.
That's like the top layer though. Like that, or like whatever, bottom, top, I don't know. Deepest, that's the craziest layer. I don't know which layer we go. I don't know.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter.
Whatever.
But whatever. One layer. And like,
Honestly, I feel like these are lateral layers. It's this way, not down,
Yeah,
Because they're all like,
whatever. So the last layer,
Yeah.
the last block, the last whatever.
yeah, that's how you do it. Because you get through one, to get to the last one, you have to get through the other two.
Yeah. So
We got it, guys.
whatever. Anyways, so like, and I just call those like my crazy goals, because like, now when I say crazy, like they're not so crazy that they're like completely unrealistic.
Yeah, it's not insanity. It's
like,
just crazy.
It's not like me squatting 400 pounds in the gym and being like, I think I'm gonna squat 500 on the platform, because that ain't happening. So it's not like crazy, but it's
you
like,
never know.
No, I do know. I do in fact know. But I just call them crazy because, please don't. I call them my like crazy goals, because they're just things that like literally everything would have to go perfectly perfect for the day. And I don't know that I've ever had a meet where everything goes perfectly perfect for the day, probably ever, which is fine. But like on the off chance that maybe sometime it does, we have crazy goals that like if we're moving and everything's feeling great, we follow those.
Yeah.
And then
So just so that we are not going back and forth, what are those crazy goals for you?
Well, I feel like I should start at the easiest and work my way up. So really, I feel like I need to talk about them separately.
All right, well then before we start at the easiest, I do want to make one note, and that is if you are a person that is only coming up with crazy goals, because I feel like that is pretty common.
Yes.
You are 100% setting yourself up for failure.
That's kind of where I was
Not
going with
for
this.
success. You're setting yourself up for failure because you're setting a bar that's so narrow of a chance of success, like actual potential. There is a chance. I'm not saying like trust me, I'm
my
the
crazy
ultimate
goals
positive.
are all within reach. I will
you
say
could do them. Yeah.
all of them are within reach.
But it's just a very narrow window.
Yes.
Very narrow. And therefore, and like I said, if you're listening to this and you're like, yeah, that's how I set my. Okay, so like that's one layer, but like Liz said, that should be the last one. You got to have some other stuff in front of that.
That's kind of why I started with that one, because that's what I wanted to talk
I like
about.
that. I just wanted to make sure we touched on that, because it's like, that's straight up, you're literally setting yourself up for failure.
Yeah.
Which we used to do all the time.
Yes.
Both of us.
Yes. So basically, I have learned that like having those like crazy goals are good, because it does give you something to strive for and something to work for.
Yeah.
But what has happened time and time again is I can't reach the crazy goals because they're a little crazy. And just like something happens, or maybe I'll get like, because it's a crazy goal for squat, bench, and deadlift. Maybe I'll get like one of them or two of them, but not all three. And then, oh my God, I'm a failure. I didn't get it.
Yeah.
Cue the last several years of my life.
Yeah.
But anyways.
Should be noted that Liz is kind of a perfectionist. So like when her crazy goals are crazy, they are on the like edge of the knife. They are like, all of them are nuts.
Yes. A little bit. Anyways. So then I learned that I need to have like a goal that's like a little bit easier. And then for this one, I actually went like down another layer.
Almost like a minimum.
Kind of. Like I have like a bare minimum of like, which sounds bad because I mean, I guess if I fail that, then like, it's gonna suck. But also like, it's still a goal. Like it still has to happen. And I understand that, but that's also why it's the first goal. But it's something that should be achievable.
Rain or shine, whatever.
Should be. But again, it's not guaranteed. It's competition. It's a competition. It's and different. We're traveling, cutting, whatever, all of the external factors. So like, all right, so we'll just go over the goals, I guess, because that makes it easier. That's so like my first goal, whatever I don't want to call it a minimum, but like my first layer of goals.
Minimum effective goal, like that would be effective towards,
It's my goal of, I don't know.
No, I think minimum is fine because But
then I feel like if I say minimum and then I don't even achieve the minimum, then that really hurts my brain. So like,
okay, we'll just call it. Okay, I got it. Honestly, so like Liz
goal number 1.
Here's the deal.
We have 3 goals.
No, I got it now. Liz had the layers thing, but I'm gonna replace that, and especially this is very relevant with the NASA astronaut thing that's been going on recently. So we have. Just scratch everything that we said about layers. Okay, layers are for cakes. This is not a cake show.
I like cake.
All right. So we have a 3-stage rocket, okay, for liftoff, which is going to be the meat. You got stage 1, stage 2, stage 3. If you can get past stage 1 to stage 2, then we launch stage 3. You know, it's like a booster, like, launching you into the stratosphere.
Oh my God.
So stage 3 is like crazy powerful.
Okay.
All right, stage 1, and look, this way is no minimums, no nothing.
Well,
Okay.
stage 1.
Stage 1, here we go.
Stage 1.
All right.
Kind of has multiple parts to it also. So like each stage has multiple parts.
Well, I figure. Squat, bench, deadlift.
No. No. Actually, no. So really stage 1 is I want to total 1,000 pounds.
Okay.
Or like over 1,000 pounds again, 455 kilos. So it's like 1,003 is like the lowest you can total over 1,000 pounds. So really stage 1 is I don't care what combination of numbers I get, but I want to total 1,000 pounds.
Okay.
Part 2 of this is I want to enjoy myself and have fun again because that has been something that's been very hard for me.
You've been doing good at that, though.
No, at meets. So really the only meet that I've like had fun and enjoyed myself at was Search, which is the last meet I did.
Yeah.
So like we're on a good track so far. But like I want to be able to do that again and enjoy myself with everybody there because we have a lot of people coming and like my team is there and I just want to like have a good time with everybody.
Yeah.
And then I think this is probably stage 1, but partially stage 2, is I would like to hit at least APR in something.
Okay, like one of the 3.
In something. I don't care which lift. I don't care by how much. It could literally be 1 pound.
You've hit them in the gym.
But like I've hit PRs in squat and bench in the gym. So like I'm on track to being able to like PR something, one of those 2 things, not deadlift, one of those 2 things at the meet. So like I kind of like, so I think initially that was like a stage 2, but like maybe now it's moving a little more to stage 1 because like I really feel like that's more of a possibility, but like 1 lift. So that's kind of my, stage 1, my first level of goals. And then the next level, like stage 2, whatever we're calling them.
Yeah, stage 3.
2.
2, sorry.
I have 3.
Okay, my bad.
Stage 2 would be to do a 400 squat, a 200 bench, and a 400 deadlift, like minimum, or like 402, I guess. Because, which all of those I would say are possible, and that also like, if I do that, I get the 1,000 pound total, and then, but also it would be really cool to squat 400 and bench 200 and deadlift 400 something. So like, kind of that's probably ish how I'm gonna get to the 1,000 pounds anyways, based on how everything's looking, but also I don't know, like who knows? So that would kind of be like step 2 of like doing that. And then my crazy goal. Stage
2 rocket. Now we're moving on to stage 3 rocket.
Yeah. So
the afterburners.
Yeah. So this almost has like 2 parts to it, which is, this is how my brain works. It's so busy. I have so many plans in my brain. So first part would be to squat a national record, like an open national record, which is currently 185.5, so I would have to squat 186 kilos, which is like 409 or 410.
Okay.
Squatted 182.5, so, kind of crazy, but also like not out of the realm of possibility. So national record squat, that's kind of like the first thing. And then if everything can pull together, I can get either a PR total or even crazier back to a 500 dots, which would basically be I would need somewhere around the 186 squat, a 209 bench, and then like a 430 to 440 deadlift, which are just, I don't know, they seem kind of crazy, but like...
out of this world, like Artemis.
Oh man.
Like the rockets.
Oh man. Anyways, But what's funny is out of those, the deadlift seems the hardest, which is funny because that's the only one that's not a PR.
Yeah.
But anyways, that's
okay.
just my
That's
life.
for another day.
That's
so those are your 3 stages of goals.
Yeah, basically.
Okay.
To where like, I don't know, like that last stage would be really cool if I could do that, like to pull those numbers together and get like basically as close to a 500 dots, if not a 500 dots, depending on what I weigh in at, as possible again, which would be super cool. Plus just like having those numbers would be cool. Like a PR total would be really cool.
I agree.
Which would be like a 1050 total, which is crazy.
Yeah,
so,
that is nuts.
Anyways.
I like it.
Those are my layers.
Those are layers. So I'll share mine real quick. No, we're not done with layers. We're doing stages.
Whatever.
Stages,
layers, things,
stages.
Rockets.
Stages of rockets.
Cake.
I'm going to share mine, and then we'll share how you can manage expectations because, low-key, if you have the 3 different stages of goals, if you really want to hit 3, you're going to have a little bit more lock-in than if you just want to hit 1.
And also I would say, if you're only going to have one stage, go with your first. Like, go with the stage
100%.
Because then you just are going to go have a good time. Yeah. And that's okay. I mean, obviously, whatever your other goals are,
your one stage should be the most, like Liz was saying earlier, it should be achievable.
That, like, is very, and like probably things that you've done in the gym and things that like have already been accomplished in your training versus like hitting PRs or doing some crazy total. Like, and if you only want to have one stage, cool, but like have stage 1, not stage 3.
I'm gonna go ahead and break that rule with mine, but here we go. Okay, so my stage 1 is going to be to total 1,700 pounds, irregardless of anything that I lift. I don't really care how I get that, just total 1,700, which I think is 1,703. And that would be adding, I think, 30 pounds onto my total, a little less than that, I believe. So around 15 kilos in a year, or a little less than a year, so that would be good. That's kind of like my stage 1. I think I'm definitely capable of this at this point. I just need to make sure I make it to the platform in one piece and then make this happen. Also, it should be noted, I don't put have fun on my stages because I'm always having fun. So also, I love competing. Like, I don't really care. I mean, I do care, of course, like how I do, but I enjoy competing. So that's always...
And I think for you, just because we have kind of like a different mentality on like being successful with goals and failing goals, like it's way easier for you to fail a goal that you set.
Yeah, I don't...
And like, you don't really get as like... discouraged as I do, which I think is why I need 3 layers, and I need my first stage. But I need my first stage to be like
achievable,
very achievable.
Because I would say mine's a little bit more of a reach than your first stage.
That's where I was going.
But I do think that it is achievable.
Yes.
And then the second stage, rocket, is kind of just like a continuation of that first stage for me. It would be squatting 600, deadlifting 700, and benching 400.
That's kind of like mine,
which
424.
Yeah, because like I think I can total 1,700 without doing that, specifically in the squat region. But
that's like the same as mine.
So it's the same kind of thing. So that's stage 2 for me. And then stage 3, I actually just came up with this while I was doing my cardio yesterday. But
it only changes one of the things.
It only changes one of the things. But I'm not sure that it's like impossible. Like I was like thinking, I mean, it's a little crazy, but I think I could do it. Like the mentality, which we'll talk about in a second, is gonna have to be there, and I'm gonna have to like have a really good last training block. But it would be a 280 kilo squat, 185 kilo bench, and then a 325 kilo deadlift.
Basically, it's all the reds.
It's all the reds, and I think it comes out to something crazy in the mid 17s that I'm just not even gonna think about. Nope. I do better with the kilos at the numbers that I'm lifting. Because to be quite honest, it is crazy to me that I am lifting some of these numbers because little Nate definitely would be like, "You're doing what?"
Someone asked me this the other day when I was talking to them about my like goals, like squat goals or whatever.
Yeah.
And they were like, "How do you even like think about those numbers when you like are going to lift?" And really my answer was I don't. I like plan it out and like I have this plan so like obviously deep down I know what the numbers are.
Yeah, of course.
But then I just kind of like disassociate from the fact that that's the number that I'm actually squatting, and then I just squat it.
I think I've kind of like learned to do that a little from you.
You just can't like think about it because if you actually think about the fact that you're squatting the weight that you're squatting, you just can't do it.
No.
I mean, like I know what it is, but at the same time I cannot think about it.
Yeah, no, I'm the same way. Especially for my deadlifts, I just need to be kind of in la la land. But that works well for me. So those are my 3 stages. Stage 3 is like I mean, I'd be cooking if I hit that. That would be an absolutely insane goal. I do think I'm capable of it. I would not have said this if you asked me a week ago. Well, I guess 8 days ago. But I'm not gonna lie to you, after failing and then coincidentally coming back and hitting that 265 kilo squat in the same week, and I was like cooked, like obliterated. So I think I have a lot more in my squat than I thought. I just need to do a really good job at executing. Which is what we're going to talk about next. But first, we're taking a quick break. Okay, we're back. So yeah, the next part we're going to be talking about is how to actually lock in and making sure that the level of execution, focus, whatever you want to call it, like being locked in at the gym, making sure that that matches the level of difficulty of your goals. And just going to keep it nice and consistent, we're just going to go with like the premonition that like people are doing this 3-stage thing, and that you may not have 2 and 3. You may just have 1. So for the sake of this podcast, stage 1 is an easier goal. Everyone's going to be making these goals. Stage 2 is a little bit more difficult goal. Some people may make these goals. Stage 3 is a crazy goal that is nearing your capabilities and potential as like a human being, and is going to require
a perfect day.
Exactly. And it's going to have to require a whole nother different level of focus and training. And I want to make it clear, all 3 of these different like focus levels, totally fine. So you don't need to be like, oh, well, I don't have this goal or what. That's totally fine. The problem becomes when you have the 3-stage goals and you have this 3rd stage, you're like, oh, this is what I'm doing. But then you come to the gym and, we're not focused. I'm not sleeping. My nutrition's off. And, life, I understand life. But honestly, sometimes when life gives you what it gives you, you have to adjust.
I mean, I think,
and go from there.
Kind of, period, either way. If you have crazy goals, stage 3 goals, whatever, like you have those crazy goals, you have to have a crazy amount of like focus, dedication, execution. Like it has to also be crazy.
Yeah.
It has to match.
That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
That's kind of what I'm saying.
Like,
and if you have...
And honestly, good day, bad day, I don't really care how you're
Yeah.
feeling, like, which is hard. I understand that. But like, you still have to show up and you still have to execute and you have to give 100% of everything you have every single time you step into the gym for a training session, as well as pretty much 100% outside of the gym to help you recover. If you have the crazy goals. If you don't, you can be a little more chill.
That's what I'm saying.
So,
it's like you can be, and I guess my point is, all of those things are totally fine. Mm-hmm. The issue becomes when you have the crazy goals, but you do not have that crazy intensity, focus, drive inside and outside the gym, and then you're like, at the end, you're like, well, yeah, I'm going for these goals. Like, I mean, to be honest, like if I had someone with crazy goals and, they go through their last block with kind of a more laxative little thing, I mean, those might just straight come off the table. Because I'm not sending someone to get hurt.
Well, and I think, part of it, it's like, 1, how you come in, but then 2, like, I think a little bit of it is like respecting the weights when you're coming in and training, because I think you could, like some people, they come in and like, I don't know, they have whatever crazy goals.
Yeah.
And then anything less than their crazy goal is just like, oh, well, yeah, I've done this, or oh, this is easy, or oh, I could just do this. And then like, if you just kind of set up and just move it like, oh, yeah, well, I can do this, like, it's not gonna move that good.
No.
And then you're not gonna continue to progress. Like, you kind of need to treat every single rep, every single weight, every single day, like your main lifts, obviously other things excluded from this, but like those need to be treated like they are PRs every single time.
Yep.
Like you need to like approach it with the same focus, the same like intensity. I mean, I understand. Obviously,
and
if you're
confidence.
actually going for a PR,
yeah.
like you're going to just get more hyped, and
that's
as it
fine.
should be.
Yeah, of course.
But like, you cannot go up to a weight that I don't care how many times you've done it. I don't care how many reps you've done it for. If it's your single for the day, or it's what you're doing that day, I better see like
effort.
Like a lot of it, and like care that you're hitting it. Like care that this is what you're doing for the day. Don't just like, oh, it's only this. Like, I've done this before. Like, I've done this for triples. Like, okay, cool.
If
like,
you have that mentality, take the stage 3 off of your menu.
Yeah, like you better make this move like it's an empty bar, because then the problem is people do that, and they do not make it move like an empty
No.
bar. And it looks not great.
Yeah.
So
I will say this, and this is a very important part of the podcast. Like, week 1 of this block is probably literally the most important week, because the thing is, weights just get heavier, and as weights get heavier, sometimes things will break down, your form may break down, the speed may slow down a little. But like, if you start off week 1 with that shit, like you're like over here like, oh, well, you know, like this is whatever, I've done this for 3, so like it's, and then it moves slow. Now I'm going to the next week thinking, wait a minute, like I gotta move even more weight,
but also
better.
As a coach, I'm not giving you much more
100%,
weight. That's also
100%.
going to be part of it too. So like, fun fact, if you're one of our athletes and you don't move well week 1, you're probably not going to get much more weight in week 2.
Stage 3.
Fun fact.
Yeah, so yeah, I think, you know, starting from like the stage 3, if you will, like the absolute most amount of focus, if you have those kind of crazy goals, stage 3 goals, so to speak, you need to be locked in starting like this next week, like, you know, starting first
now?
week. Yeah, starting last week. Because it makes a difference, you know, and the confidence, you know, powerlifting is, we talked a lot about data, but it is also a lot about confidence. You need to start building that confidence. How in the world am I going to be confident enough to take 280 for a squat if I think I got 250 lined up this week, something like that, 250, 260. I don't remember.
I think it's like 240 or 250.
Okay, so 240, 250. Like, how in the world am I going to be confident enough to take 280 if I am not like just obliterating 240, 250? Like, we're almost 30, 40 kilos away from like a top that I'm supposed to hit. I mean, mentally, I need to be like just obliterating this. And I'm not saying, you know, this is powerlifting. I'm not saying like it needs to be like box jump speed or like sprinting, but like the effort needs to be there. Like, I am going to move that weight as fast as I possibly can, and make sure that I am like pushing, driving, everything is locked in as if it's 280 on the bar.
Yeah, sometimes when I go to like set up for weights, typically like within this last block, I just keep telling myself it's 400
This
pounds.
is what this is.
Like,
Yeah.
I'm squatting 400 pounds.
100%.
I'm squatting 400 pounds.
Because-
like, am I squatting 400 pounds? No. I think this week I have like a 360 or 370,
Yeah.
something like that. I talk in pounds, you talk in kilos, whatever.
I can't talk in pounds. It's too
fine.
nerve-wracking for me
It's fine.
anymore.
But like,
I did that with deadlifts before, and it worked. And then now I'm in that region for squats where I just think I just can't talk about it.
Yeah.
It's got to be in kilos.
whatever. But either way, like, I just tell myself it's 400 pounds every day.
Yeah.
And it helps.
I was just going to say, and let me take you guys back to a OG Nate-ism that is highly underrated, and that is visualization. Look, if I do, so we have what, 4 more heavy squats? Yeah. So if I squat 4 more times, like pretty heavy, okay? So I only have, so you got to look at it a couple ways. Number 1, you have 4 opportunities. That's a lot of opportunities before meet day to really hone in on what it's going to look, feel, how you're going to react to like that PR on the bar. Number 2, you could look at it the other direction. You only have 4 opportunities.
That's how I think of it. It's only
exactly.
4, yo.
If you mess one
better get
up,
your shit together.
yeah, exactly. If you mess one up, you're already at a 75%. That's a C. So like.
And next week we'll talk about what to do if you do
Yeah,
that.
yeah. So you know, like Liz said, I don't think. And look, I'm not a big proponent of like, I'm doing back downs, I'm doing warm ups. Like, okay, this is not every single rep needs to be like this is a top single.
No.
But like when you do get to that top single, that's practice.
And like your last warm-up
And these are your
too.
most
Like,
important
they should
practices.
be-
Like if we're equating this to Super Bowl, this is like that last 2 weeks of practice getting up to the Super Bowl. Like this is the time. Like it's not like, oh, like hopefully I get it on the, no. Like,
yeah. And so like that's a lot of like in the gym.
Yeah.
But like there's a lot outside of the
Yeah,
gym
let's
that
talk
you
about
need
that.
to do, especially with the stage 3 crazy goals.
Yeah.
Your nutrition needs to be dialed in for what you do.
oh,
Now,
well, it wasn't up until this point.
Yeah. Like, I mean, I understand that there are some people that just eat McDonald's and whatever fast food all the time,
Yeah.
every day. And I mean, I guess if that's what you do, that's what you do. Do I think that that is going to help you achieve your crazy
I mean,
goals?
it's not a think, that's a fact. It's not going to help you as much.
I mean, there's some strong people out there that eat a bunch of junk. So
Yeah.
I'm trying not to say that you cannot eat junk, but
Well, I'm saying if you weren't eating junk, you would be even
probably
stronger.
would feel better.
That's a
Yes.
fact.
Yes. So, like, you know, having your nutrition in check, and I'm not saying you have to track every single morsel, but making sure that one, you're eating, like consistently eating and eating enough, and you're getting enough protein and carbs to help you recover. Like, you need to make sure you're eating enough, because that is something that I see a lot of times, like leading up to a powerlifting meet, is people who are over their weight class, and then they're like, oh, well, I'm gonna cut, and I'm gonna start cutting during this last block, and I'm just gonna eat a whole lot less. And then they're gonna lose 5-10 pounds in the last block, so they don't have to do any other kind of cut for the weight, and then they're all of a sudden not eating, and then they wonder why their lifts aren't going well, or like they're not recovering, but they're not eating. So, and then sometimes it's a secret, and they don't tell me. And then I don't understand why things aren't going well.
Why isn't this happening?
So one, if you're gonna do that, please let me know.
Yeah.
Because then I will adjust some things based on that. But two, like, you're gonna feel better if you eat enough to fuel yourself and like feel good. So like, that's
And if you
one
need
thing.
help with that, reach out to us. Let us know. We can help you make sure you have enough going on. So yeah, nutrition got to be dialed. Your sleep needs to be dialed as best you can. We understand people are busy, people have kids, people have jobs.
Yeah,
but as best you can,
sleep,
as best you can, sleep is probably the most important factor of that last little month or so. Making sure you are just racking up as many hours sleeping as possible.
And I would say, like, trying to do like a schedule too. So like, even if some nights that does mean a little bit less sleep, but trying to like maintain a schedule as close to the same as possible, I think is definitely more beneficial than, oh, I'm going to bed at 1 a.m. this night, then I'm going to go to bed at 11 o'clock, and then now, so like trying to get onto as much of like a routine and a schedule as possible, especially because on meet day, like, you're going to get up early. So if you're used to not even, you know, if you're someone who chooses to like stay up all night and sleep half the day, and you're lifting in the morning, that's going to be a rough little transition for you. So trying to like get your schedule as much, I'm not saying it has to be perfect, but like as close to like
what you'll do,
trying to sync it for the actual meet day, like, and getting as much sleep as you can doing that is going to be beneficial. I understand not everyone can do that based on life and jobs and kids and all of that, but as much as you can.
But also, since we are kind of, because I want to discuss mainly like the highest expectations, and then we can kind of go down from there, because that'll be
I guess
easier.
These are like the highest expectations.
I will say this, if you have these stage 3 goals, you will have to sacrifice from life, family, work. There will be sacrifices that will have to come from that to hit those goals, 100%. So that's just gonna be how that is. I think, I'm trying to think some other stuff outside. So like hydration would be another thing. If you're not usually drinking a gallon of water, or that's just a baseline, I get it. But like, you know, if you're not drinking usually enough water, make sure you have enough water. Make sure you have electrolytes.
Mobility, stretching. I know some people are bigger fans of it than others, but you have been doing better with your stretching. So I will say, like, taking care if like something's a little achy or something feels a little tight, like making sure you take care of it before it becomes an actual problem.
Because this is not the time for it to become a problem. And I will say, I had a very busy past, first quarter. And so the stretching was kind of getting a little off, but it's funny, I like forced myself to do it.
I put it in his schedule now.
Yesterday and the day before, when it would have been very easy to not do it. I was like, but I'm like, no, I need to do it because I know this is coming up. So I had to make sure that I'm on point with that stretching, mobility, recovery. Those are the main externals, I feel like. That you can control.
Trying to reduce your stress as much as possible, just because stress is stress. Like
100%.
Lifting is stress on your body. So like outside stress, if you can do things to help like chill you out. So maybe that means finding something that helps calm you down or relax you, like doing a little more of like relaxing time versus like always going or going out or being social. Like if that is not necessarily
like making sure
relaxing.
You're not doing Duolingo right before you go to sleep.
I did that last night. It was not good.
Liz was wired.
Not good.
But yes, so I think those are like the main things. Now, again, if you have, so that's like for stage 3, all that stuff needs to be locked in addition to when you come in, it needs to be nothing else but training. I think.
Can I say one more thing about this?
Yeah.
If you have crazy goals, you need to not focus on what anyone else is doing.
Oh,
like
absolutely.
Other lifters in the meet, other lifters in the gym, other lifters on your team, other lifters on the roster. If you have crazy goals, the only way you're going to be able to execute them is if you only focus on what you are doing.
I'm gonna clip that.
Yeah, because
this is a fact. I mean, you should always be doing this.
So like, I will say, I am that person that will look up everybody on the roster because I just want to know. But then it's kind of one of those, your favorite infomercials, like set it and forget it.
It's a great commercial.
Whatever. So I do look up people on the roster just because I'm
Liz
curious.
Beyond Open Powerlifting.
But I will tell you, like once that's kind of done, like once I look it up and just kind of have an idea of where people are at, that's kind of it. Like I don't really focus too much on it, and because I have found in the past when I do focus too much on it, then it gets in my head, or I start, whatever, spiraling, or this, or that, or how do I do this, or they're doing this, why am I not doing that, and then it leads to very bad things. So I'm not saying like you can't be competitive and you can't like try and compete against people, but I promise you, the better you perform, the more competitive you will be.
That's what I was just gonna say.
So the best way to perform better is to only focus on what you are doing and what you are lifting and controlling what you can control, so then you can perform the best that you can perform. And then if you do the best you can, then that's all you can do. Yeah. If they're stronger than you,
doesn't matter.
They're stronger than you, period. But if you show up and your training has been perfect and your focus has been perfect and all of that has been perfect.
There's nothing else you can do.
There's literally nothing else you can do, and sometimes people are just stronger than you, and that just is what it is.
Yeah,
so,
and I will say this,
just saying.
On the opposite end of the spectrum, I never look people up. And I will say this, I don't think I've said this, I tell Liz this all the time, but I will just tell you this, like when I sign up for a meet, I expect to be basically like competitive and or beating like people in my weight class. Like that's just like what I expect myself to do. And then I will tell you this, even though it's a little delusional, because Liz will be like, yeah, this person signed up, they're like out totaling you by like 200 pounds. I'm like, okay.
I could beat him.
I could beat him.
What?
But low key. So like, I know that I'm like, that sounds like a little crazy. And it's not like cocky against the other person or anything like that. It is just simply exactly what Liz said. It's just like my way of doing that. Like, I am just so locked into what I'm doing that like, I really just don't care about like what other people have done in the past, because it just doesn't matter. Because I have beat people multiple times, like on game day, that have out-totaled me by 100 plus pounds, whatever, because they can't perform on that day. All I focus on is myself. I don't focus on anything else. Like, all I care about is my numbers, how I'm moving them, like how I feel. And then on game day, like Liz said, like I just go do my best. And then if it's not, I mean, powerlifting's pretty simple. You either lift it or you don't. So like, if I can't lift it, I can't lift it.
And
but
then
also,
they might be stronger.
Exactly, and that's happened. That has also happened. Like I've also like prepared everything and gotten beat. But like, I still have a great time. Like I'm gonna have a good time either way. And like I said, it's not like it has nothing to do with, that's just the thing. It has nothing to do with anyone else. It's nothing against anything else. It's not like I'm not wishing ill, none of that. I just know that I'm going to be so prepared, and I just hope the other competitors are just as prepared, because I'm gonna be prepared. And then if they are, cool, we'll see something. If not, then I'm gonna win. So like, that's my mentality, and that is literally, I feel like I've just gotten even better at that as I've gotten older. Like I just focus. The other thing is, which is convenient, we own a business and I run the business. There's like a lot of stuff going on in my life. So like, I don't really have time to think about that stuff, or I choose not to do that. So it keeps it pretty simple for me. I just come in and train. And then I just do how I do. And I think one more thing, just about the expectations, kind of going back to actually the first thing, is like for me, I found myself kind of being a little lackadaisical in the last block of training. Now we had a lot of stuff going on outside. As you guys know, with the last episode we talked about with Toby. And I'm a pretty emotional guy, which you guys may or may not know, to be honest. Probably don't know that, but...
Probably not.
Yeah, so I'm a pretty emotional person, and that stuff does affect me on like the total stress wavelength, whatever you want to call. And so I've struggled to kind of like lock in for like the this last little bit of training, and I've still been hitting PRs and like all this stuff. Like Liz has got my program dialed in, and I really have only one goal for this meet, and that is just to go out with our Fortis powerlifting team and have a great time lifting with everyone. But I realized that, you know, in having just that one goal, I know I'm going to do that, I guess is the thing. Like, I'm confident that I'm going to do that. Everyone's going to have a good time. Me and Liz are a very good team for coaching. We will be prepared. Everyone will be prepared. It's going to be a good day. But in doing that, I kind of like forgot about my own goals. I was just kind of like training, you know? And then last weekend, I don't know what clicked in my brain, but whenever I squatted that 584 after failing it, the 265 kilos, I was like, okay. I was like, I need to like, yeah. I was like, I need to like lock in, because I think I'm capable of maybe a little more than I thought I was capable of, but I now know that that's going to take everything I have, make sure those training sessions are absolutely perfect. So now, and I just kind of was missing that stage 3, so to speak, of my goals. I had the stage 1 and 2. I've had those for a while. But I think the stage 3 really brings out the competitor in me. And yeah, this is going to be a good last block. So that for me, I think is really going to like help me kind of like lock in whatever, like for this last little bit.
And I think we kind of like talked a little bit about this, but I guess before we're done, but like if you don't have the stage 3 goals and you don't have crazy goals, like you can definitely show up to training a little differently. You can live your
100%.
life outside of training a little differently, and there is nothing wrong with that.
Absolutely not.
I don't care if it's a national level meet. I don't care if it's just a local meet. Like if you are just going to have a good time and do the best that you can do on that day, like that's more than enough. Like you're just showing up, and you're like, you show up, you have, obviously you have to show up and train, but like you might not have to have the same intensity, the same focus. You can like whatever, goof off a little bit more and like maybe not have like the same intensity. Now I'm not saying that you should just like not show up, but like, and like your outside external factors outside of the gym maybe don't have to be as dialed in. Your nutrition, whatever, you don't
they
sleep,
straight up don't
like,
need to be as dialed in.
It's fine. And I guess there's nothing wrong with that. I think so many people get so caught up in the like they have to do everything perfect and their life has to revolve around powerlifting if they're going to compete. And like it doesn't. Like again, if you have the crazy goals, it does kind of have to, at least for periods of time. But if you just want to go and show up and be strong on that day and as strong as you can be on that day and just have a good time, lift with your friends and compete in powerlifting, like that's super cool. And there's nothing wrong with that. And you will still get stronger and you will still like progress over time.
And it's still like that's.
And it's still super cool that you're getting up on a platform and lifting in front of people, because there's a lot of people that would never
won't even do it. They won't even sign up for it.
So like, I think people kind of forget that that can be a part of powerlifting
100%.
and should be a part of powerlifting. That what we do is extreme. Like, it is the extreme end. It is of power. I mean, obviously there's way more than what we do, but like.
Not really.
Well.
There's people that are stronger than us, but no, what we do is pretty.
It's a lot,
pretty extreme.
So okay. I mean,
I'd say we're at the extreme end.
It could be a little better, but it's pretty good. It's pretty good.
I would say we are definitely at the extreme end.
So we focus. Yes, but like you don't have to be us to do powerlifting and to enjoy powerlifting and to even go compete at nationals or other meets. Like. You can just go have a good time.
That's
I'm not
what's
saying
cool
we're
about
not going to
powerlifting.
have a good time. Like we can still go and have a good time, but like you don't have to do all the things that we do to have a good time. You don't have to have the crazy goals to have a good time. Like you can just go have fun.
And
lift some weights. It's great.
I think this is honestly the most important part of the podcast, to be honest, like this last little bit, because like this is where the majority of people are going to fall in the stage 1, stage 2 goals. This is totally fine. Like you don't even need to have a stage 3 goal. This is fine. Like
I'd actually prefer most people don't have stage 3 goals.
Me too. I was just going to say that honestly, because it's just much like, look, like powerlifting actually, if you've been involved in powerlifting, the sport and or social media, you'll probably be shocked to hear this, but like powerlifting is a pretty non-invasive sport. Like you can just do it. Like you don't need to do too much. There's not, even if you go play like intramural soccer or basketball, those are pretty high skill. Like you got to kind of be good. Like you probably have to practice. Like you don't want to go play with your team and you can't.
You still have to practice powerlifting.
I understand, but I'm saying like it is a pretty like low time, money investment type sport if you actually think about it. It can be. Well, like I'm saying, it is. And then there are levels
Yeah.
that, yes, all of a sudden time adds up, money adds up, all these things. But like, as it sits, it is. And like, I feel like so many people in the powerlifting space, which is ironic, like just don't get that or like forget it. Like you can powerlift and have stage 1, stage 2 goals
this could go
and
on
enjoy
to,
it.
Like I could
Yeah, I know.
spiral on this a lot, but I think social media is a big part of that, and because you only see the highlights and you only see the super strong people and the people that do more like we do and or more the influencer type people, like all of that, and that is what's out there. So then I think people think that like they can't do powerlifting if they're not doing that, which is just not true.
No.
But that's a whole other topic. But yeah.
Yeah, you're right. We'll save that for another day. But my point is that at its core, and I guess that's my point, at its core, it's a pretty like simple sport that people can be involved in at any age, at any skill level. Like there's just a couple standards you got to hit, and that's it.
Yeah.
And you know, and then from there, like it goes. But that's just a, you know, like Liz is saying, like the stage 3 thing, like that's just a little bit of the sport. Like a few people are really trying to like, you know, really dial in. And like, and I will say this, like if you're, like Liz said, like if you're not like, you know, if you're like, you know, I can sleep and my nutrition is like, okay, but I'm not drinking water because I don't like it. Okay, well then, like stage 3 goal is probably not for you, homie. Like, and that's okay.
Yeah.
But like, what needs to be understood is when you have the stage 3 goals, like these hyper like goals where you're trying to like achieve something that is like very difficult for you as a person, not necessarily for powerlifting, but for you as a person, like these are very difficult goals to achieve. You must have all the things, or like it's not like, oh, like I can have a few, but not the other. That's stage 1 and 2 type goals. When you're stage 3, you need to be doing, now you might, no one's perfect, you might like mess up, but like you need to be focusing on all those things.
But I think what's important though is no matter what like stage goals you're making, if you're a stage 1, 2, or 3 person, you need to be proud of what you accomplish.
Yeah.
Period. So like even if you have those stage 3 goals and you do everything perfect in prep and training and whatever, it might just not be your day.
Yeah.
But you still need to be proud of all of the work that you put in and what you were able to accomplish for that
100%.
day. Because I think that also gets lost, which is also part of why I think it's important to have the other stages of goals.
100%.
So you can still be proud of what you've accomplished, no matter what stage of goal you are setting.
And because
that's just something that people are not ever proud of themselves.
Yeah, and they need to be.
Not ever, but there's so many times that like, oh, well, I didn't get this crazy goal that I set for myself, so now I'm a failure, and like everything was worthless. Like, no, like you still did a really good job.
Yeah, and also, like, fun fact, by doing all those things and trying to control the externals and all these things, you set yourself up in the best possible way to do the best you could do that day. So fun fact, if you didn't do all that stuff, you actually probably would have done even worse.
Yeah.
And I think that's something, like Liz said, like you're just trying to do your best in the preparation, and hopefully, you know, that's what you can do with this information is like setting yourself up for success on that one specific day. And you know, at the end of the day, powerlifting is a sport where you're lifting on one specific. Oh man, 98 always causes
Sorry, I almost
stress.
watched an accident.
You know, you're trying to lift certain weights at a certain time in a certain spot. Like it is, you know, it has that pressure of like a sport, like a team sport where you're, you know, it's a specific day, a specific time, and things happen in sports.
Yes.
And if you trickled your way into powerlifting and never played sports before, that might be kind of hard for you.
It's me.
But if you've played sports before, you know that things happen. But it's funny, both people that have played sports before and people that have not played sports before somehow put powerlifting on this weird thing where it's like, I should be able to do this. And you know, like...
That's my favorite saying.
Yeah.
I should be able to hit this.
Yeah, so we're gonna go ahead and wrap it up here. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this episode, you guys, and can come up with some stage 1, 2, and 3 goals for yourself as you enter into your last peaking block. If you have any questions.
If we coach you and you are going into nationals with us, please message me your goals.
Yeah, stage 1, 2, and 3.
I feel like I'm gonna give like a bonus something if anyone actually does that.
Yeah, for real. I might make a little like thing in Canva. People could share it to their stories. That's also good. Put it in the world. But you don't have to do that. That does put more pressure on you. But yeah, so establishing good goals and then making sure that your effort, your intensity, your focus match the level of goals that you're trying to hit.
Yep.
And then regardless of all of those things, whenever the meet day actually comes, like Liz said, be proud of what you achieved. You set foot on a platform. You told people, hey, I'm going to go out here on this day and lift as much weight as I can. That's, in and of itself, awesome.
As someone who's had really bad meets, and then we can go, or like in my brain, really bad meets, nobody cares. They're just proud of you for being there. Like, I'm like, oh man, I'm letting everybody down. Everybody's gonna, well, no. Everyone's like, hey, good job. You showed up that day. Like, you did what you could do that day. So like, yeah, on the good days and the bad days. So like, really, I've gotten the same amount of support on the meets that I feel like I did terrible at versus the meets that I was like, oh, hey, that was a really good meet. And I feel like I still get the same amount of support.
Yeah.
So really, just go show up and do something.
Yeah.
People will support you. It's cool.
Maybe I'll put that as a title. Show up and do something.